Good evening and welcome to the City of Riviera Beach Planning and Zoning Board meeting, Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. It is now 6:31 p.m. If you wish to speak on any items on this agenda, please complete a public comment card and provide it to the Planning and Zoning staff. Cards must be submitted prior to board discussion of an item. Thank you. Now let's have a moment of silence. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Simone.
Anthony Brown,
Present.
Renee Burgess,
Here.
Evelyn Harris Clark, Margaret Shepherd,
Here.
James Gallen,
Here.
William Wiley, Frank Fernandez.
Present here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Acknowledgement of board member absence notification.
Mr. Chair, both the Vice Chair Wiley and Ms. Clark both provided notice of their absence for today.
Thank you. Any additions and deletions to the agenda?
None.
Disclosure by board members.
None provided.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Anthony Brown,
Yes.
Renee Burgess,
Yes.
Margaret Shepherd,
Yes.
James Gallen,
Yes.
Frank Fernandez.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Next up is the approval of the minutes, which I was not here for, so I will forego to my board members who were present for the meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Anthony Brown,
Yes.
Renee Burgess,
Yes.
Margaret Shepherd,
Yes.
James Gallen,
Yes.
Frank Fernandez.
Abstain.
That vote passed with Chair Fernandez abstaining.
Thank you. Any unfinished business? For the record?
None.
None? Okay. Now we're down to new business.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, approving plat application PA 2204 from Tur Construction LLC, Developer LLC, to replat an existing lot of record, approximately .4213 acres, 18,351.8 square feet in land area, in order to accommodate 6 townhome dwelling units identified by parcel control number 564342291000400100 and 564342291000400110, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
you. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Planning and Zoning Board. For the record, I am Clarence Sermons, Director of Development Services for the City of Riviera Beach, before you to present this item. All right. Before you is the resolution header that's already been read into the record, so I will go to the next slide. All right. The property in question for today's vote of recommendation is highlighted before you as existing. It is 2 residential lots. This plat is to combine it into 1. I apologize, I'm having some delays with the clicker here. There we go. All right, this is the existing lot configuration as shown on the survey on your screen. Before you is the proposed plat document combining the 2 lots into 1. And staff recommendation. Staff recommends that City Council review the submitted application for plat PA 22-0004 and approve the replat for the proposed residential development of 6 residential townhome units to be located at the parcel control numbers read into the record earlier. And that concludes the staff presentation on this item. I would note that although the applicant has expressed a desire for future use, there are no existing applications on file for development. So before you today is only a decision on the proposed plat document. And that concludes the staff presentation.
How long has this lot been vacant?
I am not sure at the moment, but I can see how quickly we can get that answer for you.
So they haven't yet submitted any plans, correct? They haven't submitted any plans yet for the egress, exits, parking spots, or anything like that, correct?
That's correct. No additional applications are with our department.
Ms. Shepherd?
I just wish that in the package we got, you would have gave us an address. Because I like to go by and see where this property is at. And I don't know how you want me to make a decision when I really don't know where it's located. So I think in the package, you should have had the address to give us a idea where we're going, how it's going to affect that neighborhood. I absolutely don't really know where this is at. 28th Street, I mean, I know what 28th Street, but I don't have an idea, who's going to be affected by this.
Okay, and it may not have appeared correctly in my packet on the page before. The staff report does contain the 2 property addresses, and it's on,
Well,
I think the way
didn't
it's printed makes it hard
I
to
did not
locate it.
get that in my package, sir.
Okay, I beg your pardon on that one. We'll make
Yeah,
sure it's
I
better
did not.
highlighted before.
And I looked at it yesterday. I should have called to get an address, but I didn't. And now I'm faced with trying to figure out, is this going to affect what neighbor? How it's going to affect the neighborhood? I just don't see how I could really talk about it because I really don't know.
Mr. Sermons, I see the lot, the property address was on the last back page of Esquire's transcript. When it was sent out to us as a package, was it on the back page of what was sent out to us?
So the way the packet was put together, I believe that was the first page of the new business agenda item. And the staff report came after it. The way it's printed before you today, it just automatically does back and front. So it made it look as if it was right following the minutes when it was actually the new item.
Okay, so this legal description was not included in the package that was sent to us?
Yes, it was.
It
Yes.
was.
Yes,
So it was sent to us. and it
correct.
included
Yes,
This page. Okay.
yes.
Mr. Brown, anything?
I noticed in the 2 plats have the same date. Which one is the one we're looking at?
You
It's
said
the Cedro Azul is the final one.
yes, Cerro Azul
That's the final one.
is as far as the name of it.
Yeah, you have replat of lots 10 and 11, block 4. And they both have to have the same date on them. So I was just kind of curious.
Which one has a different date? Which
They both
page?
have the same date, and one is a replat of the other, right? Am I understanding what's going on? You have the
No.
Cedro Azul townhomes
Yes.
and lots 10 and 11, block 4. They both have the same date on them. So I imagine Cedro Azul is the one we're looking at.
I'm sorry, if you give me just a moment, please.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize, Mr. Brown. I was conferring with the applicant to get some clarification. So I believe that it was a difference between an earlier submittal and the most recent one, which should be the Cedro Azul Townhomes. The document titled as that one.
Okay, so was the lots 10 and 11 ever recorded?
Lots 10 and 11 were recorded.
It was recorded?
Yes, and this one would be combining those previously recorded lots.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. The properties are being combined with the property appraiser's office, the two lots, 10 and 11? Or are they going to remain separate PCN numbers?
They would be combined and have one PCN after, if and when this plat is approved.
Okay, so they couldn't do that before, only after this is approved? Submit for the combination?
No, the only, technically the only way to actually combine the lots is through the plat. There are some other combination mechanisms that don't legally remove the lot line. So the plat is what is required to erase those prior lots and combine them into one.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I know when I purchased my property here, my house was one lot and my backyard was another lot. So it was two different parcel control numbers that I had to have combined. And I don't see why that would be any different in this situation, why they had to have to get it replatted first.
I know there are some mechanisms to get multiple lots recognized as one, especially for taxing purposes, so that they can be assessed as one unit. But technically, those lot lines are still there. So the plat is what creates the new legal lot of record and removes that line. And for development purposes, if we have setbacks and things like that, and you still technically have a lot line through there, that can cause issues at the development stage. And in this case, for the type of development and the situation here, the plat is the best way for the lot to be developable for the desired use.
Okay. And one other thing, looking at the drawings, can you kind of pull it up on the screen?
Yes.
Because it is two different lots, so I'm trying to see actually like where this building is going to be situated. Is it going to be on both lots or like, because I don't know, I really can't tell from what's submitted. I thought they would have had like a better rendition. Like, is that whole block just the proposed unit?
So I can allow the applicant to talk more about their future desired use, but I would reiterate that before us today is only the plat. This does not approve any future development, nor has any future development applications been submitted to Development Services for review. So again, we understand that at the moment they desire to do a townhome project, but what's before you for decision is only the legal combination of a lot. But I can allow the applicant to speak on any of their proposed, desired design ideas for the future.
Okay.
And
I would
and if
like
it's the
that.
pleasure of the board, I can.
Well,
Yes.
before she goes up, just to piggyback, you're looking to place 6 townhomes and all we see is an empty lot. We have no idea of what the concept will be, the roadway, the parking. Yes, it is multifamily surrounded by the area, but it just doesn't give you an idea of the concept. What do they plan on doing? Is it going to be like a 1-car parking per townhome, which is ridiculous in today's age? I mean, where's the landscaping? Is it all going to be like a concrete jungle? Per se?
No.
I mean,
2-story, 1-story, like 3 units on the top, 3 on the bottom. I know it's townhome, so maybe it's just 6 flat across, but
can we maybe just bring the representative up and to just give us an idea of what they plan?
Yes. And as I make way for the applicant, I will say, at least from the application standpoint, a landowner does not have to have a proposed project ready to plat their property. It's simply a legal, more than anything, it's a legal proceeding to create a legal lot of record. So they're not required to have design or development plans. Some people plat just to prepare land they own for sale and turnover and things like that. So we do not have a project that we've reviewed for its compatibility with the neighborhood, landscaping, and things like that. So, but I can, again, allow the applicant to talk about what their future desired development is.
So to piggyback on that,
Mhm.
yes, if this is approved, then they go back to your team and then they give you an idea of what they want to build. And then you have how high it's going to be per zoning, I'm assuming, how many parking spots there has to be. Am I correct on that? They have to still accommodate the zoning.
Yeah, absolutely. The once they do propose actual land development, as you know, we have pages and pages of regulations
Correct.
that are going to guide what can and cannot be built there, and how anything that is allowed to be built there shall be done. So before they go vertical with anything, staff would have to review that, and we would bring it to this body for approval if to make sure meet any codes required for that development to move forward.
Right, so just, if we approve the lot for 6 townhomes, they're not going to build like a 12-story townhome on each lot.
No,
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
and to your point, I will probably amend this to remove the phrase townhomes, because this gives them no right to develop townhomes versus a single-family home versus anything else in the zoning district. So we can amend the language to make that clear that this is just creating a legal lot of record, and it does not give them vested or development rights to build a townhome or anything else here.
Correct, no carte blanche per se.
Exactly.
So yes, I would prefer the amendment as well, but let's just hear from, and please make sure you identify yourself and how you represent this project or this parcel.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me. We did have a design pre-meeting with Mary Savage.
Okay, your name, please, for the
Sorry,
record.
Carolina Mendiola.
And
I am
you
the
are?
rep for the owner, for the
You're-
developer.
Representative?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We did have a pre-design meeting or site plan review, pre-review with Mary Savage, I would say almost a year ago. And she was the one that recommended us to do the replats for our design. So she has seen back then the 6-unit design where it's, complies with the parking requirements, even visitors. She suggested adding visitors, so we added visitor, landscape area, recreation area, and enough space for turnaround and coming out of that design. So there is a pre-design, I guess not submittal, but presentation that was done to Mary Savage when she was here. She no longer is with the city, as I understand. So she recommended doing this step before going to the site plan review. So our next step, what I understand, is a site plan review with a 6-unit design to be approved before we move on to construction documents.
How long has this lot been vacant? Do you know?
They bought it in December of 2021.
21.
Yes,
I did check that out on Papa.
And
correct.
It's been vacant for how long before that? Do you know?
I do not know. I think
Okay.
it's been vacant for a while because it does look like overgrown and, the client does, the owner does keep the grass cut and has
Correct.
somebody coming out. to fix
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Shepherd?
Why don't we have a rendition of what these townhouses are supposed to look like? Mrs. Sherman?
This is Christy Gatto on behalf of the city. In the packet, there was a rendition, a rough site plan showing the general layout of the property. But as Mr. Sermon said, from the legal standpoint, all you're doing tonight is to approve the plat. And they will then have to go forward through planning and zoning and apply for what they actually want to develop. And that will be subject to all applicable setbacks, height requirements, driveway, parking requirements, landscape requirements. At this stage, it's more of just identifying the lot and making it one lot. Because obviously, if you just look at the sort of design that they submitted, you've got a property that encroaches on your side setbacks on one lot. So they would never be able to go forward with that as a site plan because they have a setback issue. So by doing a plat, you get rid of that sort of dividing line between the two parcels. Now it's all one parcel, so the setbacks only apply to the perimeter of the property. So it makes it easier to go forward with now looking at the site plan and making sure it meets all the requirements of the site plan for the one unified lot.
Okay, I get you.
And so then also as the partial control number, it's really a function of the property appraiser.
Right.
So they can go back to the property appraiser now, and if they want, ask for one PCN. The property appraiser's office will give you a PCN, but they'll tell you you have to come to your zoning authority to make sure what you have a PCN for is a buildable lot.
Gotcha.
Thank you for the explanation.
So all we're voting on today is just making I get you.
That's it. That's
Okay,
it.
okay, I get you.
So I'll be back with,
I get
next
it, I
phase.
get it. Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Brown?
Skip me for a second, please.
Give it a second, Ms. Burgess?
I don't have any additional questions.
I don't have any additional questions.
The question that I have is that, well, it's not a question, it's going to be a statement. I hope that since they're talking about putting townhomes here, not knowing how high they're going to be, I know they're going to be at least 2 stories. I hope that the owner speak to the residents in that area, because this is going to be between homes that's already there. I don't know if I would want a townhouse in between my house and another house. I don't know how that
I
would
think the
look or how
townhouse-
that would affect my property value as far as a townhome being built there. So I hope that the city take that into effect, and also the client.
All right.
Chair.
Mr. Sermons, as we've stated in the past, we want to make sure that any developer that comes before this board, that they advertise to the community, so we get input for the community for anything that comes before us. So we'll have it. Mr. Burgess.
Understood, and we do emphasize that to development. So as this goes to the next stage, we will make sure we carry that message and bring that information as a part of the staff report at the next phase.
Thank you, Ms. Burgess.
I did have additional question for the applicant. The proposed will be rental or for sale units?
Rental.
Thank you.
If there's no other,
Mr. Chair,
go ahead.
yeah, I'm still a little confused about this. This plat. The previous plat was lot 11 and 10, or lot 10 and 11, block 4. That's correct.
Sorry, I can't
Is
understand.
that correct?
The previous.
The previous plat
Plat
was
was,
lot
yes.
11 and 10, and 10 and 11, block 4.
Correct.
Lots 10 and 11, yes.
So how is that different from the one we have now? Cedar Azul, apart from the name?
So in the packet, are you, and I apologize, we can put page numbers on these in the future, but it looks like you're looking at the document after the letter from the applicant. And at the top of it, it says replat of lots 10 and 11, block 4, amended plat of Lauraville. Is that the document you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay. So on that one, it is showing the combined form of the lots. It's not showing the previous plat.
So it is not showing the previous plat.
No, that page is not.
Because what I'm looking at here, I mean, they're both saying the same thing, pretty much. Apart from the name.
I think the survey further in the document does better show the previous lot lines on it, but the actual plat documents don't show the previous configuration, which I believe is what you're pointing out. It does not show the separate lot 10 and 11.
Right. The survey does, yes. Although the partition line between lots 10 and 11 are not shown on the survey, but I can understand that one. But I still don't understand why we have lot 10 and 11, block 4, and Cedar Azul. And you're having, I would like to see the previous plat. You know, I mean, that would, I could do something with that one, but I don't understand what's going on, to be honest with you.
We do not have the previous plat as a part of this information. And if necessary, we can, if you desire, we could table this item until the next meeting to have that information before you if the board believes that's needed before a vote on a recommendation can be made.
Surveys were submitted for both plats separately and then the combined. But, signed and sealed surveys were done for each lot as separate files, separate plans.
Yes, Mr. Brown, you're a professional.
I happen to be a land surveyor myself. That's why I'm confused.
Correct,
What I have here, I cannot,
correct.
I would say table it, please. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Sermons?
Staff has no objection to that. We can go back and review everything and get with the applicant to make sure we have all previous configurations as well. But there's no objection on staff part to tabling the item.
Ron, would you like to make a motion then? Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to table this item until some later point.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Anthony Brown,
Yes.
Renee Burgess,
Yes.
Margaret Shepherd,
Yes.
James Gallick,
Yes.
Frank Fernandez.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Chair. Also, when you bring this back, can you make that correction as far as removing to accommodate 6 townhomes?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And your amendment that you mentioned before as well?
That's it.
That's the same wording?
Sorry, I didn't catch.
The wording you mentioned, I believe it's the same, that Mr.
Okay.
Khan just stated.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. We'll make sure it's clear what's on here.
And from this day forward, I hope you all will give me a picture and address where I can go look for this property, because you don't want the residents getting upset over there. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what you want me to vote on when I really don't know where this piece of property is at. And then they'll come in here and say, nobody gave us any type of leadway to know this is coming into our neighborhood. So I need pictures, an address, or something, because I just feel kind of, I don't know what to say. I just don't feel right about this, because I really don't understand. I mean, I understand the way I truly understand, but I need to go over there and see that property for myself.
Yes, ma'am, we can do that.
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
That's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So 2 weeks, is that what it is when you
The
table? it?
sermon's full.
Yes, and I'll get with you about the next date. And
All right, thank you.
right now, we are scheduled for March 23rd. So we will prepare this for the next Planning and Zoning Board meeting on March 23rd. I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong one. We are in March 9th.
March 9th.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is workshop items. Riviera Beach 2040 Comprehensive Plan Update.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Since we last had a discussion about the comprehensive plan where we had the consultant come in, we got some very preliminary feedback from this body in the Planning and Zoning Board meeting. We have been hard at work with moving this project forward, and not the least of which is our new staff member, Ms. Sonead Simon, who I believe has spoken with most of you to this point and had an initial one-on-one meeting with you and our consultant about what you desire to see from the comprehensive plan. She's really hit the ground running, so we're proud to have her a part of staff here at the City of Riviera Beach. And if it's okay with you, I would yield the floor to her so she can talk to you about where we are so far with the comprehensive plan.
Welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. So my name is Sonead Simon. I am the new principal planner with the Development Services Department, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you about our comprehensive plan 2040.
Did I still?
Oh,
Green button, the big green button. Okay, let's try it. All righty. Just to kind of review our comprehensive plan, as you all know, it's the official living guide that our city utilizes to how do we hope to grow and how do we hope to change by 2040, which is our horizon year that we're working with. So within the next 20 years, how do we want to see ourselves? Things that we want to also remember is that it reflects the vision that our residents, our businesses, and our developers have for our city. It guides our physical appearance that we have here for the city, as well as used by you guys as leaders, as well as our staff, to make sure that our policies and decisions that we make about transportation, parks, utilities, or anything like that, and our land uses, like you guys were just doing, are according to that vision. Click. There we go. So where we are right now. Currently, we are going towards our task 2, which is understanding where our city is today. So we're in a phase of collecting data. As Mr. Sermon just talked about, we've been talking to board members. We'll start talking to our council members, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But right now, we're trying to understand who is Riviera Beach? What is Riviera Beach? What makes us Riviera Beach? And what is it that where have we been in order for us to understand where are we going? Actually, I want to back up just a little bit, and just a reminder, the team that is working on that, there we go, is Calvin Giordano and Associates who's working on that, and they've been our consulting team who's been really working hard to help us to understand who we are and where we are as a city today. Now it doesn't want to click. Go for it. Okay. You helping? You're amazing. All righty. Like I told you, we're working on our existing conditions, the trends that we see right now. So our consultants are doing a lot of the research in the background to see where we are and also to start to forecast where we're going, our population, how are we looking like on our coast? How are we looking right now in our homes? What do we have? What kind of residences do we have? What kind of businesses do we have? What industry is here? What's needed? And what are the gaps? So like we said, we've been interviewing our different leaders. We are going to start, we're going to start interviewing our city council members as well as the mayor. And also we have a steering committee that we've begun with our staff. We had our second meeting last week, and then it's going to turn into a monthly meeting where we're understanding how are you using our comp plan and how do we make it something that's easier for you to use so that way you can make your decisions on a daily basis. An important aspect to our comp plan update is how do we involve our public? You guys just said something extremely important. Before you bring another development issue, make sure you've spoken to the public. Why is that important? Because we want to make sure that their vision of where they live, where they work, where they play is being carried out. Our comp plan does that because this is their vision. So what we're going to be doing is public participation will be kicking off on March 15th. Where we'll have a website and you'll start to see promotion more for how do I participate with the comp plan. And so that way we start to take in their point of views. And we're also, our team is also working on understanding what have folks said in the past, because we do know a lot of information has been collected in the past. We know we have folks that come in and they talk to decision makers all the time. So we're also reviewing what they've said in the past, but we'll be asking for fresh information. How does it feel in our environment? How do you feel about our environment? How about recreation? What are we doing for recreation? Where do you see it in the next 20 years? So we'll begin these. In the late part of March, we'll have our first workshop, but we want to make sure that we're not just having these big meetings, but we're also going to meet you where you are. So we'll be participating in different places and different activities in order to ensure that we are reaching people where they are and not expecting them to kind of take one more hour out of their lives to meet with us. So we're trying to be cognizant of that. What does that mean? The picture that you see on the right, this is the way that we love to do it, where we have different levels of public input. We're not just talking at you, right, to say, here's what's happening, enjoy it. But we're also asking you, what do you think? How do you want to be a part of it? And how should we be doing it based off of how you live your daily life? And so we'll be engaging with our public in different ways from if you just want to know about what's happening, we let you do that. But if you want to be a part of it, we want you to do that as well. So this is our comprehensive plan update for today. This is where we are, and we have so much more that we'll be sharing in the near future. We're pretty excited about this endeavor. And do you have any questions for me?
I do.
I would love to hear it.
Real quick, I know you're advertising it out to the public for input. Is it on the city webpage where you can see it predominantly in there? Like when you log on RivieraBeach.org or whatever it is these days, it's right there. And then you have a little link where they can click it. Says, what's the comprehensive plan? You have a nice little link in there and brings them to a very small tutorial. Is that being done? Because March 15th, the kickoff date.
So for 15th kickoff date for March, I'm trying to go back to it. For 15th kickoff date, the idea is that we will have a website that does just that. It will be found on the main page of the Riviera's website, as well as our comprehensive page. So if you click on it and you're looking for the comprehensive plan, you'll also be able to route to the website that we'll have specifically for the comprehensive plan.
It's important to get it out there. What about, besides our website, anything else we're doing as far as notifying our city residents?
So to begin that notification, just to understand that we have that this is about to happen, we've been talking to Walter in the back is going to be helping us do a video, and this video is going to be including different folks that want to be a part of it. But we're going to start off with I think we were told that I want to hold them to something, but we are inquiring of the mayor or the city manager to begin it. But we'll be talking to residents, we'll be talking to visitors, and we'll be doing different clips around the city to have people make this video of what's this comprehensive plan happening in order to have it on our channel as well as on our YouTube channels. Besides that part, we'll also be sending things out to the community. These are all in the making as we talk right now. So I don't want to like hold myself to it. We've been talking to our communications team and they're helping us find the different ways to be able to do just that.
Mr. Sermon said, when we first started this off, the first night, the representative from Giordano was here. I had asked that when you have your staff meetings, if you can, at the end of those staff meetings, somebody get together and send us bullet points as to what we're doing, where we're progressing, to keep at least the planning and zoning board members up to date as to what's being discussed, what's being done. I addressed that the last meeting, but I know time flies and you have a lot on your plate, but just that way it'll keep us up to date on what's going on, what's being discussed during your staff meeting, so we have an idea.
Understood, and I'll make sure we get minutes from each of those steering committee meetings to the board and include them in your packets under updates. We'll make sure we get that done.
Thank you, sir. Excellent presentation, so welcome to the team.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Ms. Shepherd?
No, I just want to say thank you. You're very energetic and very bubbly, and you made me want to jump up there and start doing something. I mean,
That's the idea.
you really motivated me. You're an excellent speaker.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I think that's what the city needs, someone to kind of open it up so they all can see what's going on.
Kudos.
So I thank you for that and
Thank you.
welcome you to the city.
Thank you. ma'am.
You're welcome.
I guess I'd like to second Ms. Shepherd's comments. I met you before in the interviews, so.
Yes, that was excellent interview. Thank you.
I do have two questions.
Yes,
First, what staff members are on the steering committee?
we have currently, it's all of our directors of our different departments. Mhm.
Okay. And the other question, the information when you post like on the website and the separate web page, are residents going to have, are they going to have the capability to submit feedback through that avenue?
Yes, the website that we're utilizing, and the reason why we have a separate website is because it allows to have capabilities of making ways to receive feedback, but in fun, different ways, right? So some would be like games that just say, where would you spend your money? So we give you this fake money and you're able to tell us, I need more infrastructure when it comes to a trail. And so that way they have their way of understanding the different planning concepts that we'll have in a very more friendly, a user-friendly way. So this website would allow us to do just that, as opposed to just seeing words on a page.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I'm glad we had such a great team player on board. I believe, Mr. Sermons, I said last time when we lost Ms. Savage Dunham, that the next great employee got coming in will sign a non-compete clause within a 500-mile radius of Riviera Beach.
We have a Loctite contract.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. I would like to piggyback off Ms. Shepherd. Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
The conversation that we had when I had my one-on-one was great. I felt like I was being listened to, and I can see it in your presentation that things are being put forward that I've always had problems with the city. So thank you. Kudos.
Thank you.
Anything else? Before we next go to the next agenda item? Thank
That's
you
all.
again. Have a
Thank you very
wonderful
much.
evening.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Any public comments? Any correspondence? Upcoming planning and zoning board meeting, I have here tentatively, March 9th, 2023.
Yes.
Okay. If there's nothing else,
Yes,
Oh.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
yes, go ahead, sir.
There was a request from staff to provide some additional information.
Is that the information we had requested on the empty lots?
Yes,
Within
that's-
Riviera, just to clarify, it was the empty lots within Riviera Beach, the owners and their zoning, to see if we can maybe figure out a way to get more housing rather than industrial? Is that what we're getting handed out now?
So part of that. So what you will see in front of you now is the map version of what you've requested. It shows the vacant lots in the city as well as the zoning district that those lots fall within. After this meeting, we could send you the data table that's connected to this that will list the lots and addresses if they are address lots. Some of them only have PCNs, but we'll send you the data table so you can see the exact address or location of each of the lots. But to start the conversation that you're describing is the first step is to, all right, identify where those vacant parcels are and talk about whether we believe the zoning is in order or we need to give thought to what it could be in the direction of what we want our city to be. And this is absolutely a conversation that we can continue with our consultants working on the comprehensive plan in case there are some recommendations that will come out of this exercise as it relates to our future land use map. But again, as requested, this does identify what properties in the city are vacant and how they are currently zoned. And this does build out the previous exhibit that we gave you that only identified the industrially zoned vacant lots. This one includes all of them for the city, and I will follow up with the table that lists all of the information for each of the lots that's in red here for you.
And just to clarify, per your legend here, the red rectangular represents vacant parcels. Are you stating that, and I'm pointing here to the map you just gave us here, all these are vacant land within the city of Riviera Beach?
All of,
Red?
yeah, all of the intense, the fire engine red,
Correct.
yes. The more muted red, it represents a zoning district.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
All right.
I'm sure once the board members get a chance to review these and you send us the follow-up data so we can match it up, I'm sure you'll probably be getting phone calls. If you want to direct us to someone else in your team to answer those questions, we'd be happy to deal with your point of contact.
For now, you can continue to direct towards me and we can make sure we follow up with you. But yes, we do expect this to be the beginning of a conversation on how we are zoned and whether it's where we want to be or whether we need to change some things.
And the data sheet, when can we expect that? Within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's created as a part of this map. It would just be too much to kind of print out and put in front of you, but we will, we can get that to, I will get that to you soon. I just recalled the staff member that made this said they had a death in the family. So I will work with them to make sure I can get this to you as soon as possible. But we do already have it created. So it's just a matter of getting it emailed from his computer to all of you. But we'll get that to you ASAP.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And to your team members who took the time to put this together for us.
No problem. Thank you. We are here to serve.
If there's no other question, it's 7:18 PM. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I just want to bring up one more thing.
Go ahead, sure.
if I could. Remember when, I think it was you, Mr. Chair, talked about when some of the developers come to kind of make sure that they get some of our people to work on those projects?
Yes, and they told us, if you recall, I was waiting on that because it was it 6 months to a year after the CO is issued? It's when I first started, we had requested the developers coming in, like a spreadsheet on who they hired from Riviera Beach, contractors, vendors, employees, residents. So we gauge what the developers are doing here in our town as far as we ask them to please consider hiring local vendors, city residents within reason. And if you recall, majority of the ones that I've been here so far have agreed to it. And then I believe it was Ms. Savage Dunham said that it was going to be issued to us, a report to us 6 months after the issuance of the CO for those plans.
Well, Mr. Chair, I've just been noticing something, and I guess because I go to Lindsay Davis, I think it's 27th Street, because Lindsay Davis on 28th Street, those condos, not condos, they were, what were they? Little houses, I can't think what you all called them.
Right next to Atkins, the multi-family.
Right next door to Atkins Daycare.
Oh, okay.
What do you call those things?
Those were duplexes.
Duplexes, that's what it is. And every day, Mr. Chair, I've gone by there and I haven't seen any of us working on those buildings. And I remember when they came, they said they was going to hire the residents of Riviera Beach. I didn't see none of us. I didn't see none of us. And I'm quite upset. They come in here and lie to us. And they bring in who they want to bring in. I didn't see not one African-American working on those buildings. And I'm really upset because I deliberately went by every single time to make sure that they were keeping up with what they said they were going to do. And they swore they were going to do it, Mr. Chair. And we spent, 35, 45 minutes with Ms. Savage?
Not only that, we also asked them, if you recall, for them to advertise workshops.
Yes.
Advertise the vacancies they have within the construction trade for those properties. And I don't remember one developer that we approved that say, I can't do it, or I won't do it. Majority, all of them agreed. So,
Well, I remember him explicitly kept saying he was gonna hire residents of Riviera Beach. And I'm very disappointed. I shouldn't be disappointed because they do it all the time. We come here, we give them what they want, and then they stick us every time by not taking care of the city that they come here to build in. And I just think it's a slap in the face that we continue to let this go.
Mr. Sermons, we asked each developer for everything that's been approved since I've been on this board to please provide your team with information on, no personal information, obviously, but provide us information on those vendors and those residents from Riviera Beach that were hired on the projects. Because when we get that data from you 6 months after the CO, when we get that data from you, we're going to question it. We're going to go back to the team and say, okay, who was in charge of this? Where's the workshop? Did you guys review the workshops? We had asked them to please, and they agreed to it, to please post the workshops, the jobs available, and it was going to be on your websites and who knows what other websites in the city that we're going to have it. And that way we get a tally of what exactly are they doing? Are they hiring locals? I know one of them, I believe, I don't remember which one it was, but one of them did say that if they can't find the trade that they need for that specific job, then they would note it. They would note it on their reports.
And you all was not here, but the only one that I know was true to their word is Viking, which was the master developer at that time. And I did see us out there, because a lot of those people that were working at the marina, when they were building the marina, they were out there working, and they had spreadsheets to tell what day they worked, and they had to put their address down. And I know all this because my ex-son-in-law was the electrician. So I saw him out there working and a couple of other people out there. But these new projects, I think we're being taken, I just think we're being just taken as being nothing. When they come in here and beg at that podium, they're going to do this and they never do. I'm really upset about that project. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been it enough.
Can you have one of your team members look into specifically that job site? And you should have by now, since they've started construction, the worksheet, and you should have had them on the advertised on the city website and whatever other, there was another mention, I don't remember which one it was, and it was another work site that they advertised for local and minority-owned businesses to provide services as well.
Yes, I will go back and review this project. The duplex project is what I heard, to see what we have in our files and their requirements, and also reach out to the applicant to request a copy of their employment report for this.
They should have provided it to you already. I mean, we asked for it for each, and not just that one, just gauge the others that have gone, especially since I've been on the board from that date on. We can't go backwards 10 years, but at least since we've been here together as a board, just gauge those as well. You should, anyone that already started here, those reports should be readily available to you. And then you can verify. If they forgot to post it on the work site, that's not what they agreed to when they came before this board.
So the reason I said I do need to review their project files is because I do recall that it was an initiative that came from conversations with this board that we began adding new conditions to site plans, and it was conditioned that 6 months after CO, they had to provide those reports and they had to make certain efforts for recruiting locally. I will verify if that was a site plan condition of this project or something that they mentioned in front of it, but wasn't as a part of their approved resolution. Either way, I will speak with them to get an update on it. And again, if that's something they said to us, then we'll absolutely follow up with that and see if we can get a review of their hiring for the project. But I know, for example, the Amazon project and the Sunstar Logistics, the company that's moving into the Port of Palm Beach, both of those projects, it was in their site plan resolution conditions that they had to provide a report to us, the advertising, recruiting. Amazon did provide a report to us. That facility has not opened yet because they had a corporate shift and they're using it in a different way now. So they're working on changing the interior so it can be a more next day facility as opposed to a larger warehouse. So they haven't started hiring for that yet, but they did provide a report stating where they were, and I will get that to this board. I do apologize that I did not forward that to this body sooner. The other one that I'm aware of at the moment that it was in their conditions was at the Port of Palm Beach, and they have not yet begun hiring. They are still on the construction side, but I will absolutely follow up with the duplex project and review what was said, what's on the record for their approval documents, and see that in good faith that they respond to what they committed to in front of this body.
Okay, just to clarify, when I addressed Ms. Mary Savage Dunham, I wanted that language included in every site plan development. And I believe everyone that stood up there, I asked the same question over again. Can we have you commit not only to hiring local, especially with the Amazon one, offer employment opportunities,
Right.
employment fairs to our residents. So it was a mixture of things that we threw in there, but it's been since day one. So going forward, if you missed, or if it's a site plan verbiage that we had asked for with Ms. Mary Savage Dunham, please make sure that's included in anything brought before this board.
Understood.
Chair.
Yes, sir.
Also, to piggyback off of that, I wanted to make sure, can you check and see the project that's going on US 1 right now? I know that was a big project, and they also was included in that, saying that they would hire within the city as far as electricians or what have you, even doing their construction.
It's Berkshire.
US 1.
Is that the Berkshire?
Berkeley.
Huh?
Oh, Berkeley
Berkeley.
Landing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, even they said it.
And also where they're building the new warehouse, you know, he said that he would get a truck driver and have a truck driver trained. So we need to make sure that all this stuff is being done when these people come in here and ask for stuff and they say they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. We need to put their feet to the fire and make sure that they're doing it.
And then this board relies on your team, because we're not going to go to the work sites and ask them for these data and forms. So please.
Understood.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's the only way it would be enforceable if it was part of the conditions.
Yes,
Because if it's not in the conditions, then we can't enforce that.
well, it will be on the minutes, and I know I've
But if it's not in the,
reiterated that,
if
but
it's not in the
they didn't put it in site
conditions,
plan, somebody dropped the ball. But that's something you'll have to address if they did. But if they agreed to it and it's in the meeting minutes and it's recorded, that's something you'll have to figure out with your team. How's that? We'll leave that for your team to work on.
Will do.
Anything else from this? Any other comments? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:30 PM?
Motion
so
to-
moved.
All agreed.
ready to go.